And next week is also Mental Health Awareness Week. And with that in mind, earlier this morning, I spoke to a familiar face and voice at the races, Raceday Presenter Anthony Kemp, and he shared his story with us.
Well, I'm a race day presenter, as you know, Ollie, and everything was absolutely fine, having a great time, really enjoying my racing. And then all of a sudden, March last year, COVID strikes, I've got no work. It literally, within one day, I went from working all the time to having absolutely nothing. It was just horrific, really. And there was total uncertainty. No one knew how long this was going to go on for. And racing returned at the beginning of June. And that's when I would say I really started going downhill, because all of a sudden racing was back, people were working again, but there were no crowds, which meant I didn't have a job. And from a financial point of view, things got really bad, and also from a mental point of view as well. And I had to go and see my doctor. She advised a group who I spoke to, and they put me in touch with Racing Welfare. And I knew of Racing Welfare, but I didn't think Racing Welfare would have anything to do with me, because as far as I was concerned, they were involved with trainers, jockeys, stable staff, not race day presenters and other people in racing. And that wasn't the case. And I spoke to a fantastic girl called Katie Ferguson, who has been absolutely fantastic with me. They helped me from a financial point of view. They put me in touch with a counsellor. I was also suffering really bad problems with my back as well. They gave me physio as well. I just can't put into words how fantastic Racing Welfare were.
So it sounds like they were there in every aspect that you needed them.
Yes.
They really stepped up. Just how bad personally did it get for you during the sort of height of the crisis, if you like?
It was really bad from a financial point of view. I had absolutely no money coming in whatsoever. And as I say, from a mental point of view, the first couple of months were sort of okay. There was no racing, but it was when racing came back and I could see the trainers, the jockeys, the racing taking place, and yet I wasn't a part of it. And I think from a mental point of view, that's when it really hit me. And
there, as I said, there will be lots of people that will totally understand what you're experiencing. And it's great to hear that organisations like Racing Welfare accommodate everyone within the sport. If there is someone watching this who really does relate with what you're saying, what would your advice be to them? Well,
the two things I would say is I think picking up the phone is the most difficult thing, because I didn't want to speak to anyone. That was the last thing I really wanted to do. I was in a really dark place. But Racing Welfare got in contact with me as a result of my doctor. And I think it's really important. Picking up that phone is the most important thing. Racing Welfare have a 24-hour helpline. You can phone up, it's totally confidential. And I think the other point to make is it's for everyone in racing. It's not just owners, trainers, jockeys, stable staff. It's absolutely anyone who works in racing. Racing Welfare really is there for them to help.
You make really good points there. I think what's incredible is having people such as yourself who have been through dark times but are brave enough to come on and speak publicly, because that will help so many people. Anthony, thank you so much for your time, and I'm so glad you're doing well.
Thank you very much. Can't wait for May the 17th when we're back.
Yeah, a huge thanks to Anthony for speaking so openly there. And you heard the great work that Racing Welfare do. You saw the contact details on the screen a few moments ago. As we heard Rishi talking about at Sandown, there's actually a survey that you can take part in, which would be really helpful if you can. And it's horseracingindustry.gooddayatwork.co.uk. And that's really important. But there's so much work going on behind the scenes, which is terrific to hear. And it is great to hear Anthony doing well. And he is as excited as we all are, Matt, for the potential return of crowds, which we're hearing could be pretty soon.
Yeah, and what Anthony said was absolutely right. I think many of us would have felt, for a very small amount of time, much less than Anthony, similar things when everything disappeared. You do wonder, like, what's going to happen next week? Luckily, racing came back for TV people, but not for race day presenters. So he's absolutely right. And Racing Welfare doing great work. As far as getting people back on track, of course, what we want is people back, but more owners first. Like, you have to remember that without the owners, there is no sport. And all the syndicates are only allowed 6 at the moment. You know, you've got to get that group back first. the members of the public, it's a fun activity, and we all want people to do fun activities, but the public can live without going racing. What racing needs is all the owners back, everyone who puts money into the game to allow us to enjoy it, and then get the people back as soon as possible. Look, this sport can pick up very, very quickly, and I think it will be flooded out with people once it can.
Thank you for that, Matt. If you are struggling, or if anything Anthony said connected with you, please don't be afraid to talk. It's so, so important. Pick up the phone, speak to a friend. Mental Health Awareness Week is a huge week, and if you are struggling, there are people who will help. Thank you to Anthony for his time. Don't go anywhere, because still plenty to come on the opening show. We'll turn our attention to the National Hunt Racing, actually. The Swinton Hurdle is a race over the obstacles this afternoon. We'll reveal our selections in the £20 challenge as well. We'll see you on the other side of this.